Where is Amay? Yes. No.
Don't know, ma'am.
All of you off your video. Okay. So very good morning to all. I hope you all are well and doing your studies very sincerely. Am I right? Yes. अरे बोलायचं की नाही तुम्हाला काही?
Yes, ma'am.
What about others? Akshada, how are you now?
Fine, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. What about other students? Rehan, Pratik. Okay, guys. So see, uh, why we are taking this lecture, you know that. Okay. So while our offline lectures, we have completed our 4 chapters for Java 2, right? And we have left with one chapter, that is last chapter, Spring Framework, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what we are going to do in this week, we are going to complete that particular chapter. Okay. Now see, I want to point out something here. Key for this chapter. Just wait. I'm sharing my screen. Is this PPT visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now see, student. Key for this chapter, what we are going to do. Uh, we are going to cover all theoretical points from this chapter, and as well as I'm going to show you how to develop a Java application using Spring Framework tool. Okay, so which is given in your lab book. Okay, so if you see your lab book, then in that lab book, all the steps regarding the development of Java application using Spring is given in detail. Okay, so first what we will do today, we will cover some of the theoretical part, and then we will move for the practical part. Okay, now in your lab book, very simple programs are given. Only 4 programs are there. Okay, and very simple programs are like print hello world string, then display the current date. Likewise, we have to perform these programs. Okay, so today we will start with the Spring Framework chapter. Okay, so is it clear to all? And from your
Yes,
exam
ma'am.
point of view also, we have to focus on the theoretical part only. Okay, so I will give just introduction to you regarding the practical part. But now when you are going to appear for the external theory exam, you have to focus on only theory part, right? Is it clear? For Spring Framework, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so see guys, I think this PPT is visible to you. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now see, student, see, this is the agenda for this particular chapter. In this chapter, we have to cover all these points like introduction of Spring Framework. Then we have to see key which are Spring modules and what is the architecture of Spring Framework. Then we have to see Spring application, and then we have to go with what is MVC architecture, what is MVC pattern regarding Spring. MVC means what? Model View Controller. Okay. Then we have to see key what is Spring MVC forms. Okay. And then we have to see key how validations. Okay, how validations uh, we have to do regarding this Spring application. Okay, so first we will start with the basic definition of the framework. Okay, so now tell me, according to you, what is framework? What do you mean by framework? Yes. Yes, Uzaira, what do you mean by framework?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes,
It is a kind of structure,
yes,
conceptual structure.
okay. Any other answer?
Mm,
Mohsin,
Frameworks are mostly used by the developers to for the creation of the web pages and the web applications.
right, okay. Do you know any other framework? Now we are focusing on Java framework, right? Do you know any other frameworks?
Bootstrap.
Bootstrap. Do you know .NET framework? Yes, Vikram, Mohsin. Okay. So see, what do you mean by framework? Right. Now, what is the proper definition of framework? We can say that key a framework, okay, or you can also you can also see say it as a software framework, because we are dealing with here software, we are dealing with here applications. So we have to focus on the software framework. Okay. Now, what is this framework or software framework? See, it is a particular platform. Okay. Now, what is role of this platform, or what this platform is going to provide us? Okay, so this is a platform for developing software applications. Okay, so using this particular platform, using the framework, developers can develop different software applications. Developers can develop different systems. Okay, and this particular platform, this particular framework provides us, or provides to developers, a foundation. Okay, a foundation on which software developers can build different kinds of programs for a specific platform. Okay, for example, suppose I want to develop a web application. Okay, or if I want to develop a standalone application, if I want to develop a database application. So different kinds of applications can be there. So this particular um, framework is going to provide foundation to develop different types of applications, different types of programs, which can be developed by, which can be built by software developers. Okay, now see, this framework can be called as a large body of predefined code. Okay, so this is very important kind of thing, and which is very useful. Predefined code. Okay, already it is defined by that particular framework, already it is consist by that framework, to which developers can add code to solve a problem in a specific domain. So this predefined code can be directly used by the developer, directly used by the programmer to solve a particular problem in a particular domain. Okay, are you getting, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
See, this is the diagrammatic representation. So you can consider this as a framework. Okay, so what is framework? It is a large bodies of predefined code. For example, see, we have written different Java programs, right? So you can add different packages in your program. Suppose you are adding util package. Now what that util package consists of? It consists of different classes which are predefined classes, right? And you can use different methods of those classes directly in your program. You need not means there is no need to write definition for those methods. Am I right? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so
Yes, ma'am.
similarly, this framework consists of predefined code. Okay, now what programmers can do? Programmers can use, suppose programmers wants to use this particular predefined code, which is a part of that framework. Okay, so this can be added in programmers code to solve a particular problem, right? So that problem can be regarding any of the domain, right? Yes. Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
guys.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it clear to all? Yes. अरे हो नाही काहीतरी बाकीचे फक्त स्पेसिफिक स्टुडंट मला रिप्लाय करतात बाकीच्यांचं काय बी अटेंटिव्ह इन द लेक्चर ओके सो नाउ we have done with this, right? What is framework, right? Can we go ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now see
Yes, ma'am.
why we should use, or why the programmer should use the framework. Okay, so why to use this framework? So see, there are different features, or we can say different advantages of this framework. This framework is going to provide a programmer different features, like this framework is a collection of different tools. Okay, and directly you can use these tools in your code. Okay, then no need to start from the scratch, right? So already all what we can say predefined codes are there, different tools are there. So programmers can use those tools, those codes in the program, while developing the program, while developing the applications. So there is no need to start from the scratch. Okay, so different ready-made things are provided by the framework. So due to this, programmer can save their time, right? Then again, what will be the benefit of this? They can improve the productivity. Okay, they can improve the productivity of their coding, they can improve the productivity of their application. Then again, reusable code, you know what is meaning of reusable code? Same code can be used again and again, right? Then what is the next thing? Testing and debugging is very easy while you are taking support of any framework. Okay, so all these things can be possible when you use the framework. Okay, so these are the what we can say advantages of the advantages of using the framework. Okay, now see, these are different Java frameworks, okay, which are current in market, like Spring framework is there, JSF framework is there, Maven is there, Hibernate is there, Struts is there, Play is there. Okay, so as per the requirement of the developer, as per the requirement of the application, any framework can be used. Okay, so now we will move to the Spring framework. Okay, so up to this, is it clear, guys? Till now,
Yes, ma'am.
okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now see, key. Now you are clear with the concept of framework. Okay, so framework is going to provide different features to the developer. Using those ready-made features, programming or developing an application will be very easy for the developer, right? Now we are going to move for the Spring framework. So basically first we will go with the introduction. Okay, now this Spring framework is developed by Rod Johnson in 2003. Okay, so this particular framework makes the easy development of Java EE application. Java EE application means what? Advanced Java applications. So you, by using this particular framework, developers can easily develop different advanced Java applications, right? So it is an open source framework created to address the complexity of enterprise application development. Okay, so different complex applications can be easily solved, easily created by the this particular Spring framework. Okay, so see, key, this is a very lightweight framework. Do you know difference between the heavyweight and lightweight framework? Yes, guys. Okay, we will see after this. Okay, so just for this moment, you just remember key, this is a lightweight framework. Okay, which provides us well-defined infrastructure support for developing Java application. Okay, now it is very helpful for beginners and also for experienced persons. So both persons which are fresher, or we can say beginners in the development, and which are very experienced persons, both can use this particular framework. Okay, now see, these are different features provided by Spring framework. Okay, so it is a open source. Okay, then different comprehensive tools, ready-made tools are provided by this Spring framework. Then it is a lightweight, different problems can be solved easily by this framework. This is framework of frameworks, means what? It is combination of different sub frameworks. Okay, so you can consider it one, this is one sub framework, this is second sub framework, this is third sub framework, and combinedly we will get the Spring framework as a whole. Okay, then it avails the array of resources. Array of resources means what? Number of resources, n number of resources can be provided by this Spring framework for developing applications. Okay, so these are different features. Then you can see use of Spring framework over the other frameworks. So different frameworks are mentioned here, like JSF, Vedin, Google Web Toolkit, Grails, Play2, Struts2, Struts1, and the different other frameworks are there. But if you see the percentage of usage, so Spring MVC is used 40% as compared to the other frameworks. Okay, so a huge crowd is using this particular framework over the other frameworks. Okay, then next we will move for why this particular framework is so popular. Okay, so mainly there are three things. First is the simplicity of the framework, then second one is testability and loose coupling. Okay, simplicity, testability, and loose coupling. Now we will go for the next thing, the why Spring. Okay, so when we see or when we write the Java programs, Okay, so Java programs are complex and feature many heavyweight components. Okay, so what do you mean by heavyweight components or heavyweight? Okay, so see, key these components are dependent on underlying operating system for their appearance and properties. Okay, so see guys, ki when there is huge amount of dependency, right? Suppose if you consider two classes, okay, so for this we will take this example. So you can see, is this screen is visible? Java
Yes, ma'am.
see, there is one class A, and this class A depends on class B and class C. Okay, or other possibility can be there, ki class B and class C depends on class A. Means what? There is a dependency. These classes are tightly coupled with each other. Okay, and it can also consider as heavyweight. Okay, means what? It is heavyweight component, and it also depends on the operating system features for different things like appearance and different properties. Now see, key नाउ करंटली यू आर युझिंग लिनक्स. आता तुम्ही जेव्हा तुमचं प्रोजेक्ट रिलेटेड बरेच तुम्हाला प्रॉब्लेम्स आले, राईट? की जर तुम्ही पायथनचा प्रोजेक्ट करताय तर तुम्हाला लिनक्स सपोर्ट करत नाहीये. यू कॅन डू इट इन द विंडो, राईट? बऱ्याच जणांना आले ना प्रॉब्लेम्स हे. ठीक आहे, मीन्स वॉट? देर इज a particular dependency, or we can say heavyweight components are there, right? So Spring is considered to be very secure, low cost, and flexible framework. Okay, it improves code efficiency and reduces overall application development time. Because why? Because it is lightweight. Okay, it is not heavyweight. There is less dependency, right? So it is lightweight, means what? Efficient at utilizing system resources and has a lot of support. Okay, so it is going to support lot of things for efficient code development, as well as it utilizes, or efficiently it can utilizes system resources. Are you getting? And did you get the difference between heavyweight and lightweight?
No, ma'am.
Who is there? Yes?
No, ma'am. I didn't understand
Amme,
about the difference.
what do you mean by heavyweight? There is a dependency. Are you getting?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh. Ki suppose if we take a particular application, but that application depends on the underlying operating system for their appearance and properties. Okay, because those files, the files which are needed for that particular application, is only supported by a particular operating system. Okay, so such a kind of applications or such a kind of components can be called as heavyweight. Okay, आर यू गेटिंग? आता
Yes,
जर हे
ma'am.
बघा, आपण आपण जे जावाचे प्रोग्राम्स केले, ठीक आहे, तर तुम्ही आपण लिनक्स मध्ये केले, राईट? हेच जर प्रोग्राम तुम्ही विंडोज मध्ये जर केले ना, तर त्याला वेगळ्या सेटिंग्स आहेत विंडोज मध्ये. ज्यावेळेस तुम्ही लिनक्स मध्ये करता, तर बऱ्याचशा सेटिंग्स ह्या प्री डिफाईन्ड असतात. ओके, so there is some difference regarding the operating system, regarding a particular technology. Okay, so आणि जर तुम्ही स्प्रिंग फ्रेमवर्क जर कन्सिडर केलं तर इट इज लाईट वेट. लाईट वेट मीन्स वॉट? की इफिशियंट at utilizing system resources very properly, in very proper manner. It is going to utilize the system resources, and it supports different lot of things to run to develop a particular application. ओके, आता आपण जे नेक्स्ट टॉपिक्स बघणार आहे त्याच्यामध्ये तुम्हाला कळेल की हाऊ दिस स्प्रिंग फ्रेमवर्क इज गोइंग टू हेल्प द डेव्हलपर. इट इज गोइंग टू रिड्यूस द डेव्हलपर्स वर्क. ओके, डेव्हलपर्स कोडिंग पार्ट. So already we have discussed it is secure, low cost, then flexible framework. Then it is going to improve the code efficiency, and it is going to utilize the system resources very efficiently. Then it removes the tedious, or what we can say, a complex configuration work, so that developers can focus on writing program language. Okay, so Spring handles the infrastructure, so developers can focus on the application. So infrastructural part, okay, configuration part is handled by the Spring framework. So developers has to only focus on the programming language. Okay, developers has to only focus on the development of the application. Then so also regarding Spring framework, we have to see different features. So it is one of the most popular Java based application framework, and it is an application framework and inversion of control container for the Java platform. So see, this is one of the main feature, inversion of control, IOC, inversion of control container for the Java application. This feature, what we can say, is the very important feature provided by the Spring framework for the developer. Okay, it is going to reduce tedious work of the developers and helps developer to uh, do the coding in very simple manner. Okay, so we are going to see what is this now. So this Spring framework is a mature, powerful, highly flexible framework focusing on the building web applications in Java. So also using Spring framework, you can also develop different kinds of application like web application or simple applications. Okay. Then next one is how this Spring works. Okay. So when you go with the web application, it can be considered as a layered architecture. So it includes three things, three layers: presentation or view layer, second business logic, and data access layer. Okay, presentation or view layer means what? User interface. This is the outermost layer which handles the presentation of the content and interaction with the user. So you know that key graphical user interface through which user can interact with the system. So it is called as a presentation layer or the view layer. Then second one is business logic. Okay, so see guys, key this is the central layer that deals with the logic of the program. Okay, so already we have discussed this when we have seen servlet programs, right? Through the HTML, okay, you are going to design web page. Means what? You are going to design this particular layer. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you enter, suppose I want to do addition of two numbers. Okay, so through the HTML page, through the web page, what I'm going to do, I'm going to enter two numbers here, right? So when I click on the submit button, these two values are going to submit it to the server, right? Now at the server side, there will be a particular language, there will be a particular program which is going to process this business logic. So कुठल्या languages तुम्ही शिकलाय business logic साठी? Which languages you have studied till now? Which are
Java, PHP.
Java, PHP, which are going to execute, that code is going to execute at the server side. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so at server side, what is going to happen? Addition of these two numbers will be performed, and again that answer, that response will be given to the client, right? And third layer is the data access layer. So this particular layer is going to deal with the data. Okay, so server is going to communicate with this layer, and accordingly transactions will be performed. Okay, now see, this layer means each of the layer is dependent on each other. Okay, so each layer is dependent on the other for an application to work. Okay, so if your GUI or if your presentation layer is properly formatted, properly designed, then only the proper input is given to your application, or proper inputs are given to in your database, proper data is going to store in your database. Then if this business logic layer is properly configured, properly developed, then only proper operations are going to perform, proper transactions are going to perform, and same thing is for the data access layer. So these layers are dependent on the each other. Okay, so the presentation here we have seen key how presentation layer talks with the business logic layer, and again which talks to the data access layer. Okay, so there is a dependency in between these layers. Okay, so when we say a particular application, it has thousands of classes and different dependencies. Okay, and dependency means what? Dependency is what each layer needs to perform its function. Okay, so this is regarding this working of Spring framework. Now, without a Spring framework, application code tends to be tightly coupled. Okay, tightly coupled. What do you mean by tightly coupled? It is interdependent. Okay, which is not considered a good coding practice. Okay, so you need to understand these two words: loosely coupled and tightly coupled. हे दोन कन्सेप्ट तुम्ही कुठल्या सब्जेक्ट मध्ये शिकलाय? लूजली कपल्ड अँड टाइटली कपल्ड.
Electronics. Electronics.
Electronics. Okay, can you explain it?
Couple means transferring of energy.
Okay, okay. So see guys, ki first we will go with the tightly coupled. ठीक है. So what is meaning of tightly coupled? Interdependent. Okay, for this, hmm, I will take this example. See, there is a class Ramu and there is a class Geeta. Okay, yes,
Yes, ma'am.
okay. Now this class consists of one method, do work, and also Geeta class has a method, do work. Both classes having the same method. Okay. Now see, Ramu wants to perform some task. Ramu wants to perform some work. Okay, but that work cannot be completed with the help of Gita. Are you getting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what Ramu has to do? Ramu has to declare, or Ramu has to take help of Gita by declaring object of Gita in the Ramu class. Yes, are you getting? Yes, students.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, means what? There is interdependency. रामू डिपेंड्स ऑन गीता. आणि किंवा आपण आधीचं जे एक्झाम्पल बघितलं की क्लास ए डिपेंड्स ऑन क्लास बी and C, or classes B and C depends on class A, right? So see, suppose if there is some change in the dependent class, suppose there is a change in Gita class, then those changes should be reflected to the previous one. ठीक है? Are you getting? तुम्ही प्रोजेक्ट जेव्हा डेव्हलप केला तेव्हा तुम्हाला अशा बऱ्याचशा गोष्टी एक्सपिरियन्स झाल्या असतील. येस और नो?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है. So it is not considered as a good coding practice कि if your code is tightly coupled. ठीक है? Yes. Yes, guys. Now see कि second concept, loosely coupled. Loose coupling is ideal. Why? Because loosely coupled components are independent. See, interdependent आणि independent ह्याच्यात डिफरन्स आहे. टाइटली कपल म्हणजेच काय? इंटरडिपेंडंट. दे आर डिपेंड ऑन इच अदर. And loosely coupled means what? Independent. They are not dependent on each other. Meaning, what do you mean by changes in one will not affect the operation of others? Are you getting?
Yes, ma'am.
Suppose if Geeta is doing other work, okay, but it is not affected the work of Ramu. Are you getting?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है. So this spring framework is a lightweight and loosely coupled. Loosely coupled means what? The components are independent, so that the changes in one operation is not going to affect the other operation. ठीक है? Getting?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है? Yes. Okay, now the next topic is Spring modules or architecture. Okay. Now guys, when we see, आणि हा क्वेश्चन तुम्हाला कदाचित एक्झाम मध्ये येऊ पण शकतो की explain Spring architecture or explain Spring modules. Okay. So mainly it is divided into 4 parts. First is the core container. Second, data access or integration. Third is the web, and fourth one is the miscellaneous. Okay. Now in detail, this is the architecture. This is overall view. This is the in detail view. Okay. So you can see at the bottom there is a testing regarding thing. Then next one is core container, which consists of beans, core, which consists of sub points as beans, core, context, SPEL. Then this is the miscellaneous part, which consists of aspect oriented programming, aspects, instrumentation, messaging, and there is a data access or integration part which regards with the database connectivity. And next one is the web application development, MVC. Okay, so this part, or this is the Spring modules, or we can say the architectural aspects of Spring. Okay, then so already we have discussed this key these different modules like core, container, data access or integration, web, aspect oriented programming, instrumentation, and test. Okay, then in these slides I'm going to give all these slides to you. So I have just put all these things in these slides. Okay, key. What do you mean by each of the subparts? Okay, so you have to just remember these parts under the each of the main part of the Spring framework. So for data access, for web. Okay, now the next main part is the Spring IOC container. A Spring IOC container. Okay, now what is this Spring IOC container? See, IOC means what? Inversion of control. Okay, the Spring IOC container is the main part, is the core part of the Spring framework. Okay, now this container will create the objects. These are different functionalities of the this container. So this is going to create different objects, then wire them together, means what? Connect them together, configure them, and manage their complete life cycle from creation till destruction. Okay, so all these things are handled by the IOC container. Okay, so see guys, this is the diagram which shows us functionalities of the IOC container. See, it creates the objects. Those objects are wired together. Then this container is going to manage the complete life cycle, and the configuration of this is also managed, okay, by the IOC container. Okay, so just wait for 2 minutes. Okay, so did you get functions of IOC? Yes, students.
Yes, ma'am.
Create objects, wire them together, manage complete life cycle, and configure them. Okay, clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we will go for the next topic, that is dependency injection. Okay. Now, what is this dependency injection? So already I have explained this example to you. Ki, if Ramu wants to do some work, then he has to take help of Geeta. Okay, so Geeta is another class, and for that, Geeta has to Ramu has to declare object of this Geeta in the Ramu class. Okay, but see, ki when normally we are doing this, so that particular developer, that programmer has to do this. Okay, programmer has to inject this dependency in the Ramu class. Are you getting, student? Are you getting?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay. Now, what this feature, what this design pattern dependency injection is going to do? Okay. So see, this particular dependency injection is a design pattern which removes the dependency from the programming code. Okay, that makes the application easy to manage and test. Okay, so it is going to remove the dependency. So there is a particular way to remove the dependency. It is called as dependency injection. So dependency injection makes our programming code loosely coupled. Already we have discussed this key. These objects, these components are independent of each other. Okay, so which means change in implementation doesn't affect the user. Okay, so see, key this is that in this diagram you can see the traditional way and dependency injected. In traditional way you can see from the main if we consider the Java, now in the main, through the main program or through the main method, you are going to access all these objects. Yes or no? Yes or no? Means this main method is going to direct communicate with all these objects. Okay, but if you go with the dependency injection method or dependency injection pattern, there is a dependency injector which communicate with all these objects. Okay, and it is going to inject all those required feature into the main method. This main method does not have to contact to the other objects. Are you getting? In this example, see, key here Ramu has to explicitly create object of Geeta class. Am I right? Yes.
yes, ma'am.
Now, what is going to happen here if you are using the dependency injection? The Spring framework, okay, because Spring framework is going to provide this facility to the programmer. The Spring framework is going to create object of Geeta for Ramu, because means it is like providing services. Okay, are you getting? Suppose see, there is one function at your house. Okay, suppose तुमच्याकडे birthday party आहे, right? ठीक आहे, सपोज अमेयचा बर्थडे. ठीक आहे, अमेय, अमेय आर यू देअर?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक आहे, तुझी बर्थडे पार्टी, मग तू काय करणार, तुझ्या फ्रेंड्सला इन्व्हाइट करणार, राईट? आणि फ्रेंड्सला इन्व्हाइट करायचं म्हणजे तू काहीतरी मेनू ठेवणार तिथे, फॉर सपोज डिनर. ठीक आहे, सो डिनरसाठी तू काहीतरी मेनू डिसाईड केलाय, बट इन्स्टेड ऑफ डुईंग प्रिपरेशन ॲट होम, ठीक आहे, व्हॉट यू आर गोइंग टू डू, you are going to give contract to some caterers, and that caterers are going to provide services to you. Are you getting the difference?
Yes, ma'am.
Similarly, what we are going to do here, instead of declaring this object of Gita in Ramu class explicitly by Ramu, what Spring Framework is going to do? It is going to create object for Ramu. Of which class? Of which class? Gita class. Getting? So
Yes,
this
ma'am.
is called as dependency injection. Ramu is dependent on Gita, and this is injected by Spring Framework. This dependency is injected by Spring Framework. ठीक है? Okay, so in detail हे तर आपल्याला बघायचं ना. We have to just see the concept. Okay, so up to this, any doubt?
No, ma'am.
So basic concept तर तुम्हाला कळाली आहे ना?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
ठीक आहे. आता आपण उद्या लेक्चरला काय करणार की आय एम गोइंग टू शो यू की हाऊ दिस इज स्प्रिंग टूल सूट. Okay, I'm going to show you ki how to download this Spring tool from website. In your lab book they have given you that website. From that website you have to download that file, you have to extract that file, and how to start that Spring tool suite and how to write programs in it. ओके, सो थोडीशी तुम्हाला आयडिया येईल आणि त्याच्यानंतर मग आपण रिमेनिंग जे टॉपिक्स आहेत ओके या चॅप्टर्सचे ते आपण कव्हर करूयात. स्प्रिंग MVC, स्प्रिंग MVC forms and validations. Okay, so I am going to show tomorrow ki how to develop one Spring application, and after that we will cover remaining parts. ठीक है? So all of you put your roll numbers in chat box. आणि
Excuse
हा
me, ma'am.
yes
Ma'am, please tell us about this credit thing you told us yesterday.
हा
Like,
हा तेच सांगणार आहे मी आता तुम्हाला. तर सी की yesterday I have put notice regarding form filling on the group. Okay, so your form filling is started now. Now see ki what is the idea for extra credits ki from FY up to TY you have to compulsory complete 8 credit points for your degree completion. किती क्रेडिट पॉइंट्स पाहिजे तुम्हाला?
8.
8. ठीक आहे, फ्रॉम FY. तर तुम्ही काय करायचंय की तुमचं FYचं मार्कशीट बघायचंय. यू हॅव टू सी युअर FY मार्कशीट, यू हॅव टू सी युअर SY मार्कशीट, आणि TYचं पण. TY साठी तुम्ही जे सिलेक्ट केलं होतं ना शॉर्ट टर्म कोर्स फर्स्ट सेमिस्टर,
Yes, ma'am.
तर त्याचे पण तुम्हाला क्रेडिट्स मिळणार आहेत. ठीक आहे, तर आता काय करायचंय तुम्ही ते सगळे क्रेडिट्स बघायचे की तुम्ही आतापर्यंत 8 क्रेडिट्स कंप्लीट केलेले आहेत की नाही. वेदर यू हॅव कम्प्लिटेड 8 क्रेडिट्स स्टिल नाउ ऑर नॉट. If you have not completed 8 credits till now, then only you have to choose that optional subject. Just wait for 1 minute. Doubt असेल, ठीक आहे. मला तर असं वाटतं की मोस्ट ऑफ द जे स्टुडंट आहेत त्यांचे 8 क्रेडिट्स आतापर्यंत कंप्लीट झालेले आहेत, कारण की तुम्हाला FY ला फिजिकल एज्युकेशन होतं राईट.
मॅम FY ला फिजिकल एज्युकेशनचे 2 क्रेडिट आहेत
हा
आणि ते समरचं जे होतं ना
हा हा
नॉट लेस दॅन 1 वीकचा कोर्स
हा
त्याला 3 क्रेडिट्स आहेत.
पण ते FY ला होतं का तुम्हाला?
हो मॅम FY ला झालाय तो पण
ते सगळ्यांनी
STM.
फील केलं होतं का?
मॅम FY चे तर सगळ्यांना भेटलेत पण SY मध्ये आम्ही
हा.
एक्झाम फॉर्म मध्ये मेन्शन केलं
हा.
तरी आम्हाला क्रेडिट्स भेटले नाही त्याचे.
त्याचे
SY मार्कशीटवर एक पण नाहीये एक्स्ट्रा क्रेडिट.
म्हणजे तुमचं नाही ते अरे ते असणार आहेत असतात ते आणि EVS चं पण काहीतरी असतं मला असं वाटतं.
नाही मॅम EVS तर क्रेडिट
आणि
मध्ये
हा तर आणि परत TY फर्स्ट सेमिस्टरला पण त्याचे क्रेडिट्स मिळालेले आहेत तुम्हाला.
हा
परत
TY ला पण
डेमोक्रेसीचं पण आहे. त्याच्यामुळे तुम्ही एकदा आहे ना जर कुणाला डाऊट असेल ह्याच्या रिलेटेड तर कॉलेजमध्ये येऊन भेटायचंय. चुकीचा फॉर्म भरायचा नाहीये. तुम्ही अडचणीत याल लक्षात ठेवा.
ओके मॅम.
आणि प्रत्येक स्टुडंटचा प्रॉब्लेम हा वेगळा असू शकतो. म्हणजे आता हे मी सगळ्यांना सांगते म्हणजे इट इज नॉट फॉर ऑल. मी काय म्हटलं की मॅक्झिमम स्टुडंट्स ठीक आहे. मॅक्झिमम स्टुडंटचं 8 क्रेडिट्स कंप्लीट झालेले असणार आहेत. पण जर तुम्हाला काही प्रॉब्लेम असेल, जर तुम्हाला काही कळत नसेल तर कॉलेजमध्ये येऊन विचारायचं. कळालंय का?
Sure.
बाकी कुणाला काही डाऊट अजून? येस.
Ma'am, as you said that we have to check it on our results, but on SY result, it is not mentioned about extra credit.
Yes. What you do, you come with your result. Some of the students have sent me that PDF, which consists of SY and TY result. Okay. So I have seen that key only add on 3 credits have mentioned there. Okay. So you come with that result in college. So we will discuss with the Bajrang Patil sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay ma'am.
Okay. So today we will stop here. Tomorrow at the same time we are going to take lecture. Okay. And if you have any doubt, you can ask. Otherwise, you can leave the meeting.